In this video, we will take a look at the many help features of R. There are many layers of help information in R. Each of those layers caters to a specific scenario. Unfortunately, much of the intro material on R does not cover well how to get help strategically. Once you internalize the information I'm about to deliver, you will be able to save a lot of time and energy when using R. So what are we going to learn in this video? First, we're going to learn about the built-in standard OurHelp function. Then we're going to learn about the built-in help functions at a package level. I will also show you how to get help online at the topic level, which are the task views. And on top of that, we are also going to take a look at the online forums like Stack Overflow. So as you can see, this structure is divided into online and offline help features. Our base has quite a lot of info available that can get you a long way. This is already on your computer, accessible without internet connection. Certainly, you need to know how to extract value out of this information. And of course, you need to get access to the right information. So let's start with layer 1, the built-in standard OurHelp function. This one comes with R and has its own window in RStudio. This means that you can access this help feature either with code, the old R way, or you use the convenient click interface of RStudio. So when is it indicated to use this form of OurHelp? Basically, you will need this feature when you already know which function you want to use, but you do not know how to use it. We will now take a look at an example so that I can show you how that works out in practice. We will now use the plot function, which I have identified as helpful for many given scenarios. I do not know how to use it and how to modify it. Therefore, I can either code $plot, so plot is the name of the function, or I simply go to the bottom right window and select help. Now I can insert plot and I would get a list of all available functions starting with that same verb plot. I will now choose this one. Let's actually enlarge the help window so that you can get a better view on what is happening in R. Alright, so this is where all the info is available. This is the exact place we are looking for. The OurHelp section is always structured in the same way. Each R function, no matter who wrote it or whichever add-on package it is contained in, so each R function is described in this exact format. We have a description which tells you briefly what this function is about and what the alternatives to that function are. In this case, we are also provided with a link to the graphical parameters, which are of high importance to tailor our graphs. After the description, we go to the usage. This one is rather limited here, but do not underestimate this part of the help section. It tells you how the function looks like, which arguments are mandatory, and the order of the arguments in the function. In this case, we can see that we have arguments x and y, and there are also those dots over here, which indicate that there is a number of extra arguments that can be added to this function. But they are only optional and are used not only in this function. Equally as important is the next part, the arguments. These are the building blocks which you feed into your function. With these arguments, you will tailor your function in accordance to your needs. Here we learn that we have arguments x and y, which are the coordinates for our plots. This is nothing else than the data to be used for the plot. Note that most of the time the first argument will be the data used for the operation to be performed. This varies with the function. It will be a vector, matrix, data frame, and so on. When using a new function, you can use the help section to find out which sort of data or which object class you can use for this specific function. So here, if we further investigate on the arguments, we see that we have all sorts of graphical parameters available. We can provide info on titles, subtitles, labels, and so on. Since this is a very important function of R and a very old one as well, you get all sorts of links in here to get in-depth information about titles, graphical parameters, and so on. But we will keep it simple here, since this video is not about plotting an XY plot, it is about showing you how to strategically use the OurHelp function. The next part contains the details regarding this function. This is not very prominent in this case, but if you have a more complicated function where the meaning of the argument is not clear, you will get this sort of info in this part. Then we have the See Also section, which will basically explain to you which alternative functions are available. In this case, it also provides a list of useful add-on features like lines or points to be used for our plots. Sometimes you will find a list of references and publications supporting a given function. If you are using complicated statistical procedures, it is important to know the underlying research supporting this tool. Oftentimes a function works with a sophisticated algorithm which required scientific credentials as proof. Those credentials are in the reference section. And there are also examples available, at least most of the time. This gives you an idea about how this function looks in real world. So here we can see how those graphical parameters are applied to a standard XY plot. You can of course just copy and paste this code into your console to see the results and to experiment with the code. I find it helpful when I'm using a new function and it is not yet clear to me which type of data I should use for the arguments. Alright, so this was the standard OurHelp function. It is easily accessed via question mark command or the help window. Offline help is also available at the package level. If we go to packages, we get a list of all packages available on our machine. Some of them are active, they have this tick mark over here, and some are inactive. So let's say we want to learn more about the data.table package. I already downloaded it on my machine via install.packages or the install feature over here. It is a very popular add-on package which enables you to handle huge datasets in R. It is much faster in its computation than RBase and makes filtering data very easy. I simply love it, so you might take a look at it as well. If we click the package, we get to the documentation of this data.table package. We learn about the title and there is all sorts of material available. I did not pick this package by coincidence. Not only is it powerful on huge datasets, it also has a high quality documentation. This means there is not only the package PDF, which contains all the functions including arguments, much like in the standard OurHelp feature, there are also several vignettes available. Vignettes are available only for some very popular packages, and they are user-friendly intros to those packages. On the help page itself, we get an alphabetic list of all the functions available in that package. If we click a function, we again get to the help section we already learned about. Note that in the top left corner, next to the function name, you also get the package that houses the function, which in this case is data.table. If we go back to the help section of the package, we can check out this link to the description file. It is a small file containing info on the creator of the package, the version number, a small abstract, and we are also shown the dependable packages. Those are packages that are downloaded automatically when you install data.table. If we go back, we can also check out the user guides, which give us a list of vignettes. This is precious information if you just start out with this specific tool. Again, vignettes are available only for some packages, but those are generally of high quality. Let's see how such a vignette looks like. I'm going to select the quick intro vignette since this one is a PDF. At the right hand side you can select the format for the vignette display. For offline purposes and for this screencast, I think PDF is the easiest. If those are HTML vignettes, it's easiest to access it from the internet and to display it on your browser. So here in this PDF we basically get a mini tutorial on this tool. Step by step the author explains what you can do with this package, and there is also example code including the output. Really helpful, and it explains the philosophy behind this package. Again, if available, those vignettes are gold. Alright, so those are the two layers of help that you have on your machine. You can use this whole thing offline. But what if you want information at a more basic level? What if you do not yet know which function to use or which libraries you can take a look at? Well, those questions are best tackled online. The R community has online registers for most of the disciplines it's used in. Those registers contain all the available packages for a certain topic. For you as the user, that simply means if you are conducting analysis in your field and you want to find out what R has to offer, you can simply check out the task view. If you Google R task views, you should be directed to this CRAN site. This is a list of all task views available at this moment. By checking out these views, you could make the conclusion that the disciplines covered here have a strong focus in R. There are extended communities available that write and update certain packages which contain functions for those disciplines. So let's say we are interested in natural language processing, which is the analysis of text. So let's click the natural language processing task view. As you can see, we now get to a site that lists all available packages to that specific topic. We get an introduction to the topic at the head, and then there is text which has the relevant packages embedded. This allows you to orient yourself and gives some hints about what the packages contain. The task view is split into different rubrics, and the packages focusing on those rubrics, which makes orientation even easier. Again, if you're new to R and you want to find out which packages might help you for your research, this is the place to go. You might even find out that your particular field is not well supported and you're better off using an alternative software like SAS or MATLAB and so on. At the bottom of the view you can see a full list with direct links to the packages, and there is also a reference list with links. This is really a great resource to learn more about a specific topic in R. After you have identified the packages you need, you can download them in R and start using them. Downloading a whole task view with all the packages is possible with the package CTV and the function install.views. But it is not recommended since you will get loads of unnecessary packages as well, which occupies disk space. Alright, so now we discussed the first 3 layers of OurHelp features, But what is the fourth one? Well, this one is about finding the right communities to ask questions and find answers. There is an R mailing list, which I do not find that helpful. It is slow and you might not find the right answers right away. I would rather recommend using Stack Overflow, which has a huge user community, and some of them are very skilled. It is even a great platform to build credibility by collecting credits for helpful answers. People are using these profiles even in their CVs and job applications. Stack Overflow has a section about R where a lot of problems are already discussed. I find that 90% of the questions I receive from students are already discussed and solved over here at Stack Overflow. If you go to the website, up here you just type in your search term. In this case, let's say we want to search for histograms in ggplot2. We get a whole lot of answers that might help. Even if the first few hits are not right on, you will find related posts once you are in a thread. This basically allows you to bootstrap your way to a suitable answer. Again, Stack Overflow is a great resource for developers, and you should use it for R-related questions. Of course, there are also domain-specific forums that are the right place for very specific questions. You might not find a geologist at Stack Overflow, but there are some forums for geologists where you can ask questions about analytics and powerful packages in that specific field. Alright guys, so those were 4 ways in how you can get help in R. All of those methods have their own implications. You consult a community like Stack Overflow when you do not yet know how to go about a specific question. Those guys can help you in the planning phase of your project or when you are totally stuck at one point. I showed you how to use task views to identify suitable packages for a given discipline. I showed you how to get more info about a specific package within R. Vignettes are a great tool to get familiar with a new package and to understand its structure. And of course, we also learned about the very important OurHelp functionality, which you can access either via RStudio or via the question mark function.